Hello and welcome to TrainingRite.com video presentation for Selenium. Today we'll be talking about the different things which are involved to get Selenium up and running. I'm going to start with what are the different things which you have to download to and install on your machine to make Selenium run on your machines. Remember, this is all open source, meaning that you're not paying for anything. So you just need to know the right place you have to go in order to download these things. Number one, we have to go to a site called seleniumhq.org. In seleniumhq.org, basically we will have all the softwares which you need to download in order to make your Selenium work. Okay, now you have to understand the fact that Selenium comes in different flavors. So I'll be talking briefly about what are the different flavors or versions of Selenium which you need to download. By the way, you need to go to seleniumhq.org, go to this tab which says download, click on that, and this is what we were talking about. Now this is Selenium IDE is the oldest version of Selenium. In fact, it's a record and play tool. It works with Firefox, so it's a plugin which goes and gets installed over Firefox. Now, right now, as of October 15th, the latest version of this is 1.3.0. So I'm going to be downloading that. Now, while it gets downloaded, in fact, there's not a file to be downloaded. What happens is you have to come to this site using Mozilla Firefox, and since it's a plugin of that, that's what exactly it is telling you, that something is stopping it to get to be installed, so it is asking for your permission. So you just hit allow, and basically it takes a couple of seconds. It's going to restart the browser, and it is telling that install add-ons only from the authors whom you trust. So we pretty much trust them. So you go ahead and then you say install now. What this is going to do is it is going to install. It's not talking about restarting the computer, by the way. It's restarting the browser. So it is automatically going to go and then restart the browser because it has to update the add-ons, the plugin which we have installed. Okay, what this would have done to your browser, visually there is nothing which you could see in here. But if you go to Tools, here you would see that there is a menu item here which basically would bring up your Selenium IDE. All right, I'm just going to be clicking on that, and this is the GUI, or this is the IDE tool where you could go and do different things. In a separate video, I'm going to be talking about how this is like a record and play tool, how it would be recording things, and what are these different things over here like command, target, and value. I'm going to be doing a whole video on that and walking you through different things which you could be doing using Selenium IDE. Right now, I just wanted to make sure that okay, we had installed that that plugin. Okay, now what else do we need? Now, while we are on the subject of downloading different versions of IDE, so this, as we discussed, is a record and play tool. All right. So apart from that, we also need to download what is called a Selenium server. Selenium server is something which basically sits in between your Java code and the browser. When you write your Selenium code in Java, that instructions are going to be forwarded to the Selenium server, and the Selenium server is going to fire those instructions onto the browser. The good thing about the Selenium server is it works with many different languages. Meaning that you could be writing your code in Java, you could be writing your code in C#.NET, Perl, Python, Ruby on Rails, different languages. Another beautiful thing about Selenium Server is, unlike Selenium IDE, it works with different browsers. All right, so you really want to download this and then see how things work with this. In fact, you cannot be Selenium software engineer without knowing Selenium Server. Even though this happens to be a little older version now, because right now we are dealing with something called WebDriver, and I'm going to come to that in a second. So for now, let's go ahead and then download this. So I'm going to click on that. It is asking you to save the file. It's a jar file. There's nothing to be installed. So I'm going to walk you through how this thing works. Over here, you have to understand the fact that nothing gets installed on your machine. These are jar files, so it would just get saved onto your machine. So I'm going to be saving that file, and hopefully it's going to go into the download folder, and we are saving the latest version of Selenium Server, which happens to be 2.8.0, and the jar files for that. My antivirus software is trying to scan and see if there are any viruses or anything on that. All right, so this was about 25.7 megs, so it instantly got downloaded. All right, now what else do we need? We need a web driver, but I'm going to come back and talk about the web driver. Now, before I show you as how you could be downloading WebDriver, and again, it's a bunch of jar files which you would be using. Right now, let's focus on to this Selenium IDE and Selenium Server. Now, remember I just told you that for Selenium Server, you need to start the server, meaning that you need to fire your Java commands onto the Selenium server, which in turn would be taking those instructions and then passing on those instructions into the browser. Now, in order for you to send the Java code into the Selenium server, you have to have that Java code. Of course, you'll be writing that Java code, but where would you be writing that Java code? For that, you have to download another tool. So basically, I'm going to go to Google and say download Eclipse. Eclipse is the name of the tool which you have to download. So here is my Eclipse, and when you search, it gave me these Eclipse download link. When I click on that, it brings you to the different packages. You could be downloading the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. This is the lean part of it. And I would suggest that you go with the Eclipse IDE for Java Enterprise Edition developers. You have the option of going with 32-bit or 64-bit, depending on the operating system on your machine. You might select one. I have a 32-bit, so I'm going to go in here and then try and save that. There are many mirror sites from where you could download, mostly the universities in North America where the servers are residing, so you could be downloading it from there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be just downloading, let's say, from the Pennsylvania State University. Now, as we said, that this is going to be like 200 some. So I'm going to be saving this. So that's the file, the Eclipse file, which is getting saved. So what we have done so far is we went to seleniumhq.org and we downloaded Selenium IDE, which is a plugin, and after we downloaded that, it did install, and then you saw this come in and then sitting here. right? I opened and showed you briefly how it looked like and all that. And then now we have downloaded the Selenium server. After we have downloaded the Selenium server, which happens to be the jar files, we went in and then we downloaded the Eclipse. What is Eclipse? Eclipse is like folks who are coming from Microsoft, you know that you need a tool called Visual Studio to write your program in C Sharp .NET or VB.NET, so you need that tool. Even though we could write all our programs in Notepad, but I don't think that is productive. So you have to have some tool, and Eclipse is the tool for us to write the Java code. It's a free tool, again, open source, so that's what I have downloaded. So now let's talk about the installation. Now there's nothing to be installed in here. As I said, we just go and then we download stuff, and that's what I did. I am going to see where it got downloaded on my Windows Explorer. I'm gonna go to my download folder, and hopefully it got downloaded already, and here it is. No, I guess it's still installing or downloading rather, because when you see this part, that means that okay, it's part of it is had got, and there it is. It completed right now, right in front of us. Okay, this is my Eclipse. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna this is a zip file, so I'm gonna hopefully go ahead and then extract that into my I extract this, and I'm going to be extracting it. I have kept a folder on my C drive. The name of my folder is Selenium, so I'm going to be going to that folder, and here's that folder, and I would be extracting that into that folder. Um, Hit OK, and that's where the extraction is happening right now. And once the extraction is completed, I'm going to take you there and then show you how the Eclipse is going to look like, because I've shown you how the Selenium IDE looks like. Now I'll show you how Eclipse looks like, and then we will see as how we could start what is called a Selenium server and use a Selenium server with Eclipse. Now, Selenium server, as I was telling you that okay, it had finished installation here. Let me quickly go run to that folder and see if it did everything all right. So from here, I'm gonna go to my Selenium, and in there, here's my Eclipse, right? And so here is everything which we need. Okay, now again, it's not an installation. What I just did is I extracted the files into a folder. Now nothing is being written to the registry. There's no set of files, no nothing. If we need to use Eclipse, I'm just gonna as simple as just double click on that, and there you go. It's starting Eclipse. Let it take a couple of seconds for it to basically open up, and as it opens up, I'm going to be showing you as how this tool looks like, and then in our next videos we will be doing a lot of things with Eclipse. Now okay, before we go any further, I just have to tell you this is the workspace. Workspace is nothing but it's a folder where it is going to save all your source code. So it is asking, hey, where do you want to do that? And by default it had chosen this path for me. Either I could keep it as is, or I want to be consistent. I want to bring everything into that Selenium folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go again to my C drive, and I'm going to go to my Selenium folder, and in the Selenium folder, I could kind of like I could keep it in here, right? So it is going on C drive, going to into the Selenium folder. That's where my workspace is going to be, and then you will see what it is once I start writing some programs. It is loading and almost beginning to launch so that we could see how it looks like. Again, it is nothing but it's IDE. It's a tool which will help you to write Java code. Okay, as you can see, it gives you the option. There's a dashboard in here which gives you the option of like going and looking into some tutorials. You could have an overview, look into some of the samples, what they have done, and what's new in this version. I'm gonna X out of this so that I could go right into the tool, and here I am right inside the tool. Okay, so this is your IDE. This is your development environment. I shouldn't be saying IDE. I don't want you to get confused with Selenium IDE. This is more like a Java tool to write your programs, right? Again, as any other tool, you have the menu items on the top. You got the shortcuts which you could be using. What you see here is a project explorer, right? This is, as you have seen, that I just got it. So it's empty. There are no projects in here. But creating a project is as easy as saying file and saying new and choosing basically what kind of project you want to create, right? I want to create, let's say, a Java project, right? So either I could go here and it asked me, okay, from the wizards, which project you want. So I'm going to say, okay, I need a Java project. It says, going next, it is asking you to name that project. So this, I'm going to call it, what should we call it? My first demo, Eclipse demo, right? Um, okay, so it's my first Eclipse demo. That's the name of the project. I could either I could hit finish or go next. The difference between finish and next is next gives you the option of adding the external libraries to my project. So when I do next, it gives me the option of like, hey, do you want to go and then add any libraries to it, right? What I'm talking about here is um, by default, it has got all the Java jar files in it, right? The version of Java sitting on my computer is 1.7, so that's what it has got in here. Now, let's say if you want to add to it some Selenium server files, then I could do that by going into this add external jars, and then I could find those jars. And where do you think those jars are sitting? Right now it is sitting in here in the download folder, right? Download folder. Not necessarily the best place for it to be there. So we should be bringing the jar files into any specific folder. So the folder from my Windows Explorer, if I go in here, the folder which I have is in C drive. I have this. I have where did it go? Selenium folder. What I have done is I have created what is called all jars. Whatever jars I need, I would put it in this folder. So I have created a folder. So my root folder is Selenium. I want to put anything and everything about Selenium in that folder. So that's what I did. And in here, I've created a bunch of folders in here. For all my videos for upload, I created this. Any files which I download for Selenium, it's in here. And for my courses, I have these specific folders. So we are going into this all jars, right? Double click that, and I'm going to be showing you that I have created, in fact, I have already downloaded that Selenium server standalone in here, right? So if I need to add any jars to any of my project, if I need to add jars to any of my project, guess what, where I would be going? I would be clicking on add external jars, and I would be going to my Selenium folder in C drive, and then the all jars, right? So here is my Selenium and this is my all jars, and I could be adding any jar I want. Now there are a bunch of jar files in here. There is a JUnit4 jar file, which I'll talk to you in a minute about what JUnit4 is. And there is the older version of RC with the version 2.5.0. There's a newer version 2.8.0. So these are the versions, right? So I could just go ahead and then take anyone. So since we downloaded this, I'm going to go and then take that. So I have added that jar file, and now I could finish. So basically what it is doing is it is asking me, hey, the fact that you have associated these jar files, so it looks to me that you're trying to create a program which is a Java specific. So do you want me to give you a perspective, Java perspective layout here, like the windows here, what you see are like Java. So it is that. So I mean, I don't care. Yes, no, doesn't matter. Okay, I say yes. So that basically would give me like this task list here, the outline panel, and this Package Explorer. Okay, in the Package Explorer, as you can see, this is my first Eclipse demo, the project which I have just created. And if I expand on that, notice that I have something called a source folder here, and I have, these are my jar files, the Java jar files, and this is the referenced library. And what did we reference? If I expand, can you guess? Yes, you're right. We had basically referenced that standalone for Selenium Server 2.8.0 jar files. All right. Okay. So where am I going to write my program? Okay. So what you see here, first Eclipse demo. What you see here is it's a Java project. So in every Java project, if you have to write any program or any code, that goes into the source folder as a class. So I have to go and then create a class, add a new class. So here I am into new, and then I'm going and then clicking on class. When I do that, it's going to come back and ask me, what do you want to name your class? I don't know. Right now I can go with Eclipse Demo, right? We have named our project as first Eclipse Demo, so I just say Eclipse Demo. That's a class. Now, if you've done any C++ programming, then you know that you could have what is called a public static void main. This is more like the very first method which gets called when you run your application. So do you want to do something like that? Then I could choose this. Otherwise, I won't. Doesn't matter. I could choose that. So I'm gonna just choose just for the heck of it and hit finish. So what you see now is our first class, right? So this is public class Eclipse Demo. And the fact that I have chosen that method, so that's why that method came and then sat in here. By default, if I run my program right now, if I run my program, whatever would be inside this method, that is going to happen. Now, so far we are not dealing with Selenium at all. This is like any other regular programming tool, development tool. So in here I could write a simple program which is adding 1 plus 1 and then making it as and giving the total. Without going into Selenium server, let's see how Eclipse works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a very short small program. So I'm going to first of all declare some variables. So I'm going to say int, let's say let's talk about this is as my salary, right? And I could that's a declaration of a variable called my salary, and I declared it of the type integer. All right. I mean, it can be double, it can be long, it can be anything. For now, I'm just going to keep it as integer. Let's say this is, let's say, my spouse salary, right? again an integer. Okay. Let's say this is now we don't know what kind of salary it is. Is it like hourly? It is whatever, right? So let's assume that it's an hourly salary. So I want to say that it's hourly salary, right? Now notice what happened here is it is as soon as I type that, you saw like a red X mark coming in here. So the compiler, the tool is saying that what have you done here? I cannot understand what you have done, right? Okay, so this, I wanted this to be as an instruction, as a comment, not that it should be a part of the program for it to get executed. So it's a comment. So how do you write comments in this tool? For that matter, any programming language, if you're doing let's say in QTP, if you're doing VB script, then you will have like a single code. Single code will make it as a comment, right? It is going to ignore that and not execute. So in this case, I have to do two forward slashes. Then it's going to be treated as a comment. If I have many lines as my comments, then I could use forward slash and an asterisk and have as many lines as I want as my comments, and while I'm ending, I would do that with an asterisk and a forward slash. That'll treat it as a group of lines as a comment. Okay, so far so good. That red mark went away. These yellow exclamations here are saying that alrighty, you have declared two variables, but I don't see any use of that. So it's kind of like, why is he doing it? So, okay, I'm not done with my program. So at this time, it is kind of like, okay, I see that these two variables have been declared, but you're not using it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I can assign them some values. So I could just go in there and say hourly salary, let's say, is $50 an hour. All right. My spouse salary, let's say, is she could make more or less, does not matter. So why not the same? All right. Okay. So I have declared a variable. I have assigned a number to it. Imagining that we make $50 an hour. Okay, so I want to find out like how many dollars we make together in an hour. Wow, you'd say that's you need a program to do calculate that, huh? Well, let's see. Alrighty, so I mean we're gonna make it a little more complex as we go about. Right now, we just want to see how much it is. So together, I could say int, right? Together we make. All right. Okay. In together we make what? Equals my salary plus my spouse salary. Right. Okay. It is better if I include that and into parentheses. Now, at the end of every line, I have to have a semicolon because that's a requirement in Java. So that's what I did. Okay, now I know that this is going to calculate 50 plus 50 and together, but how would I see that it is 100? Right? I want to make sure that it is $100, right? Together we're making $100 an hour. Okay, so to do that, I want it to be printed out. So in order for it to print out, I could use a command called syso, and I do a control and space bar, and then basically what it is going to do is it had completed that for me. So the command, I was kind of like lazy to type system.out.println, so I did syso, and I had control and spacebar. That's the shortcut of that, and then it gave me that command. What this is going to do is it is going to print out whatever I pass it in here. So what do I want to put it in here? I want to put in here together we make. So together we make is here, and I'm gonna go and then put that in here. And let's say if I run my program, if it is going to show up as what we make. To run my program, I have to go into run. do a run. If everything is good, it is telling me, do you want to save and launch? Yeah, that's fine. So that's what I did. And if you notice in the bottom, you have 4 tabs. There's a problems tab, Java docs, declaration, and console. And the console is where all your print statements would be shown in the console, right? So I have 100 because 100 is what this together we make has. It would be better if I could say together we make 100. So the text I want to say. So I could, any text which I want to put in, that to be spitted out should be enclosed within the code. So together we make, and now notice now I have this string, and then I have this number, right? Together we make this 100. Now I just cannot leave it like that. And notice this X here that is saying that, hey, something is wrong in here. Yes, what is wrong is because I have to have what is called a concatenation operator in between. What does this concatenation operator do? It basically would take this, spit it out, and then it, that's not we are ending, we also want to show the value here. So this plus is not an addition, it's not adding. You cannot add string to a number, right? So what it is doing is it's concatenating. So that's the operator. Now if I go and run, what do you think you're gonna be expecting down here? It would be saying together we make 100. All right. Okay. Very good. Not that you really needed a program to calculate that, but if I ask you very quickly, how much do you think we make in a week? Right. So that's not going to be a problem. So you're going to quickly multiply 100 by 8, which is $800 if you're working like 40 hours or 8 hours a day. So every day we're making $800 times 5 is what? Whatever that is, right? 4,000 a week. So together we are making 4,000 a week. So now I could be calculating. So how am I going to write that? It's going to be simple, right? So how is it going to be simple? Basically, I just have to, this is an hourly salary. Now this is an hourly salary, right? Together we make in an hour. Together we make in an hour, whatever. Now, let's say I want to do it in a day, right? So I could again do SYS and O control space bar, and in a day we make, right? And now that would be together we make multiply by, in a day on an average we have what, about I'm being lazy, don't want to type that. All right, so I'm here. So that, and this is multiplied by 8, right? So I could do and multiply by 8. That number 8, I could have taken it out. I could have said hours in a day as 8 and then use that variable over there. That's the best practice. That's what we should do. So in a day we make, I know the answer, you know the answer, I know that you know the answer, because together we make is 100 times 8. But let's see if we could get that over here. And if I do that, you know what, I think always save resources before launching. Okay. So in a day we make 800. Very good. Likewise, I mean, you got the idea. Likewise, we could go ahead and then we could do things like in a week how much we make, in a month how much we make, in a year how much we make. So what you have is, forget about Selenium right now. We are not into Selenium. We're just looking into Eclipse, and then we are saying that, okay, this is how I could write my programs in Eclipse. And then now in our next video, what I'm going to be showing you is how I will be using Selenium IDE, and then how I will be using Selenium RC server. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, you like what you're seeing here, and then we strongly feel that you would come back for watching another video from TrainingRite.com. If you like what you see, we have these courses where we teach about QC, which is a Quality Center, QTP, Quick Test Professional, and Selenium IDE, RC Server, WebDriver. Very briefly, I talked about Selenium IDE. In fact, I just told you about RC Server. We have downloaded, but we haven't seen it working. We have not even downloaded WebDriver. There are many other moving parts to this. Now, there is Eclipse. You have seen Eclipse briefly. We'll be talking about JUnit. We'll be talking about Test NG, and we'll be talking about Ant. Again, we will be seeing you very soon with a different video. Hopefully you'll be joining us for that. If you like what you are seeing here, you could be joining us for our next online class. Here you have the schedules of when we are starting, what we are starting. We wish you all the best with whatever you're doing in your professional life, and want to see you sometime again in our next video. Okay, you take care now.